All right. Good morning. Well, at least it's morning for me here. Well, late morning. I got up late this morning, so I don't have too much time to stream today. But I figured I'd get on, and since we don't have a ton of time, I thought we'd do just a couple fun little parts of the project. So if you're new here, this is a series that we're doing where I'm just developing a personal project for myself, and I decided to stream it. And anybody who wants to watch can watch, learn from me, ask questions in the chat, and I will do my best to explain what we're doing. So if you have any questions or you have any comments, let me know. I'll be monitoring the chat on both Rumble and on YouTube. So, that coffee's a little too hot still. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over to our screen and camera. And where we left off yesterday or last night was we're able to go ahead and get to the point of logging in, and it is checking properly our password and our username. We also created some middleware to trim extra space and to go ahead and run the input through HTML entities. I like to sanitize all of my post data that way, and if I ever need something that's not run through HTML entities, I will go ahead and decode that. I also do the same thing. I create a cast function in our models, and so when we return stuff, after we run it through the toArray, we'll be able to convert any sort of data that we want once it's retrieved from the database. So we got a couple things that I want to we'll see how far we get. So we'll just start with, let's build our own random string generator. I think that'd be kind of cool. And so what I'm going to do is, now, yeah, this is just going to be from scratch. So there's probably better ways to do this. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun. So let's kind of build one from scratch instead of going out and finding one online, just for fun. Let's see if we can do it. So I'm gonna go to my helpers, and I'm just gonna put this in my helpers.php file because I just want this to be a PHP function that we can use anywhere. We could build some sort of class if we wanted for this, but I don't think it's really necessary here. So if not function exists, let's just do random. Let's call it random. Let's spell it right. Random string. Yeah, just random string, and then we'll say function random string. Now, this random string method, or function rather, I want to pass in first of all a length, and the length will be how long the random string is that we want. By default, let's go ahead and just set a default to 8, so we don't have to pass in that if we don't want. And then I'm going to put 2 more here. We're going to do include uppercase equals true, and include special characters. That's kind of a long name there, but we'll just say true. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I think we'll just create our characters array. We'll create an array of characters that this could be, and we're just going to start off with let's start off with, we could add one more here that would be like, yeah, let's add one more. Let's do include, do this after uppercase, include numbers. Let's say true. Okay, so starting off with, we're gonna have a very basic A, B, C, dang it, D. So we're just gonna, there's definitely better ways to do this, but that's okay. Let's just, I'm gonna make this kind of sloppy too, and not break it down on multiple lines, just because I want to. I'm not even gonna put spaces here, just because I want to keep this really streamlined. Oops. Man, it'd be really helpful if I could type today. My wrist is killing me. You know, it'd be faster to just QRSTUVWXYZ. Just gonna put the quotes on like this. That might be easier. Okay. So that's going to be our basis for the method, and what we're going to do is, based on these here, we're going to add to this array. And so let's do it this way. Let's say if include uppercase, then what we're going to do is you know what? We don't need to do this as an array. This is taking too long. I'm just going to do this as a string. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then if they're including uppercase, then we're going to add to this string. And I'll just turn on caps locks, and we'll do this again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay. And then if include numbers, then we're going to concatenate onto this string 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And one more, if include special characters. Then we get to decide what special characters we want. But in this case, I don't want to put anything like $signs in mind, because sometimes when you're using special characters like that for certain things, like if you're creating passwords in the database and stuff like that, sometimes it can get kind of weird. So I'm going to use some basic, like a period, exclamation. Let's use percent. A caret, we can use a star, we can use a number sign, we can use an at. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't think I want to use and, just because that can get weird with like sometimes with like query parameters and stuff. All right, so now we have this string that's going to be built up, and by default it's going to have all of these things in here. And then let's go ahead and what we're going to do is let's create a variable called string, and this is just going to hold our empty string. And then what we're going to do is loop through. So we're going to do for I is equal to 0, and as long as I is less than length, let's do a for loop here. I always get this syntax wrong sometimes with PHP. I don't use for loops very often. And then we'll increment I at the end of that loop. So what's going to happen is for every length that's passed in here, we're going to loop through and we're going to add something to this string. So what are we going to add to this string? Well, the first thing that we want to add, we want to find a random character in these strings. So let's see. We need to know the max and the minimum, right? So let's do a key. This is going to be our key of a random string, and we're going to use PHP's random, and this takes a min and a max. So the min is going to be 0, but what the max is going to be string length. We're going to take our string length of the character string, and so what that should do is have the full length of this. The problem is the string length is going to be 1 more than the key, so we'll need to subtract 1 from this. So basically our key is going to be the 0 will be this lowercase a, and then it's going to count up. So 26, that's 52, 62 plus these or whatever. And so this last one will be the full length of that minus 1. So if we only want lowercase, it's just going to be 26 minus 1, so that it'll be a random character between 0 and 25. Okay. Then what we're going to do, I think what we can do, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think with PHP, we can get the character of this string like an array, and maybe I'm wrong, so we'll test that. So let's try it, just because I'm curious if we can do this. If not, I know how we'll do it, but I'm just going to pass that in, and that will be string, and we're going to concatenate on that, okay? And at the end of this function, what we want to do after this loop is just return our string. All right, let's test this. I think the easiest place to test this is, we have our auth controller already. And we, I kind of wanted, well, never mind. I kind of want to just set up a route that we can use for testing stuff. Yeah, we'll remove it. So for right now, let's just add a public function. I'm gonna just call it test. Got a request, response, args. And then in our API here, we're just gonna add it one here. It's just gonna, we'll remove this too. We'll just post to test. Pull in our auth controller class. Okay. So inside of here, what I want to do is let's just dump and die the return of that. So this is going to be random string function, and let's just return the default. All right, so probably going to get an error here, but that's okay. I don't really expect this to work. I just can't remember if we can do that, the string by key. And rather than looking it up online, you know, sometimes it's just better to try something. You can learn something when you try things. Some people just look up everything or try to find tutorials for everything. So this morning, that's why I kind of want to just, you know what, I'm just going to build my own random string thing. Headers here, we're going to say content type application JSON. Yeah, we got an error. This isn't to do with anything we just did though. This is to do with our middleware we created last night. So we have an array walk recursive, and it's telling us that we passed null in there. So let's actually, that's really good to see that right now. And that's happening because we didn't actually post anything. So we're going to go to that middleware, and what we need to do here is this data. Let's just do a null coalesce here and pass it an empty array if it's null. That'll fix that error. Oh, check it out. We actually got a random string. So every time we hit this, we're getting these random strings. So let's increase the length of that random string. In the auth controller here, let's increase that to, let's say, 75. See what those random strings look like. Yeah, I like it. There's just a good mix of upper, lowercase, numbers, special characters. Sweet. I think we're ready to use that. Okay. The next thing that we'll do is so we know that works. We can use that if we want to go ahead and create a token to log someone in with. Okay. Let's say token is equal to, and I don't want to just use the random string. So I think what we'll do is we're going to use the user ID, and then we're going to concatenate on an underscore, and we'll concatenate on random string. We'll do, I don't know, 12 here. And then let's concatenate on also time. Before that, I'm going to concatenate underscore. And then what we're going to do, though, is we're going to wrap this whole thing in a SHA-1 so we can get a consistent length on this. But we're going to build up user ID with a random string and the time. So this shouldn't be very guessable, and we should really swap out the way we're creating our tokens for, we'll do that real quick. So since we have our random string generator, we can swap out how we're generating the email confirmation token. So let's go ahead and add the random string here. We'll just do 12 for length, and then true, and I'm not going to include the special characters on that. And then we'll concatenate on an underscore. I'm going to just go ahead and copy this because it's the same thing here for the password reset. All right, so now since we have this, we can actually go ahead and create an access token for our logged in user. So we have that token. So we'll do access token, and this access token is going to be a new, remember we have the access tokens model, and this is, we'll set the user ID equal to the user ID, user ID, and then we'll set the token equal to token, and then we'll go ahead and save that. Now this token here, we can just replace this with our token that we created. So let's go ahead and try this login now. Okay, so we got this token back. It's kind of short for the SHA-1 there. I don't think it's going to matter much to like change this. That length is going to remain the same. What if we try, I don't know if this will be any different. Let's try a SHA-256 on that. Wait, is that not a... let's look at PHP SHA. I thought there was a 256. I guess we have to use hash, and we can pass, for an algorithm, we can pass 256 into there. So let's try that. We'll do hash. For the algorithm here, we'll do SHA-256. And for the data, it'll be that. Let's see what that looks like. Oops. Postman. That's a little better. Yeah, I like that. So let's go ahead now and let's look at our access tokens table. Refresh that. So we got a token for each login that we've added, even those earlier ones. We need to make a decision, first of all, how long do we want these tokens to live for? Second of all, do we want to only allow one token at a time, maybe per device, in which case we'd probably need to store information about the device that's being logged in as well. That way, they can log in on their phone and they can log in on their computer, but they can't have two access tokens on the same computer. I think I'm going to keep this pretty simple for now, though, and we'll just keep the one. So now we have a token and an access token, and now we can assume that this user is logged in. The other thing that I want to do is when a user is logged in, let's go ahead and set the user last login. What do we call that? Last login at. Okay. Last login at, and we'll just set that equal to date. Let's try that. And then we'll do user save. And let's go ahead and log in again. Okay, and now we look in the database, we get a new token. Cool, so I'm gonna delete this old token. We'll put some stuff in place later. But when I go to the user and refresh, we should, yeah. So now we get the last login, but I screwed up that format. We need the hour, minute, and seconds added onto that. Let's try that again. Oops. There we go. So now we have a UTC time of when this user last logged in. All right, perfect. So now that the user can log in, we need to set up some sort of middleware to know if someone's like authenticated or not. Is anybody even on the stream? No one's on Rumble. And no one is on YouTube. So I am all alone here, guys. Just all by myself. How sad. Should I keep going? I could definitely code this quicker without making videos while I do it. Man, if this isn't something people want to watch, maybe I should think of something else. Anyway, so we just added a test here. What we could do is I want to go to the middleware. Let's create a new middleware. Let's just call this authorize. And we'll need to give it a namespace. App middleware. And we just create a class called authorized. And here, let's see, we'll do a public function invoke. And here, let's just open up this one so that I can just copy from our clean request some of the boilerplate stuff. And this is going to return a response. Right on. Okay. The next thing that I want to do is we want to, when someone's logged in, well, we need to check that they're logged in, right? So I don't know if I have enough time to do this. Let's go back to our Slim middleware here and the documentation, and let's just look at getting the headers. We can get that from the request. So we're going to be sending an authorization header with a bearer token. And so let's go ahead and grab that. That's going to be that's going to be a this will say token is equal to request get header, and we want to get the header authorization like that. And then what we're going to do is after we get this, so this get header method, does this give us, okay, it returns if the header does not appear in the message, the method must return an empty array. Okay, so this is going to be an empty array here. What? Why would that return an empty array? Oh, because a header can have more than one value. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just dig through this. So this authorization, let's just call this header instead. And let's just step through it. Let's do DD header. And we need to add this. Let's create a new route. This route up here, we're gonna put all of the routes. I'm gonna create a new group here. And we're just gonna put an empty string here so that everything goes through. We'll create a function that's gonna take a route collector proxy. And then, and this is supposed to be just group, like that. Okay, and then at the end of this, we're gonna add our middleware. So the way we do that is just with add. So everything that we put in this group is gonna go through this authorized middleware. So go ahead and use that. Use app middleware authorized. Okay, and then let's put in here, let's go ahead and do, let's see. Let's just add something right now. Let's just add group. And if it starts with test, a route collector proxy of test, like that, and then we'll say test post. Okay, so we'll just do a test here. This will go to well, for now, let's just send it to the auth controller. I don't want to create another controller. And we'll send this to the test thing. Okay, so let's get rid of this one here. And let's make a post now in Postman to to test. Wait a minute. And let's hit send. So here our headers are empty, but we need to add an authorization token. So let's do a bearer token, and let's add our token in right here. We could add this as a variable. We probably will, but for now we're just testing this. So let's go ahead and grab that token. And we're just going to plug that in right here. And now we'll go ahead and send this. So now you can see we get this array back, and the first element in the array is bearer, and then it's got our token. So this is what we expect. This is what we want. So that's cool. So what we want to be able to do though is, if we don't have, like, if empty, so if the header is empty, then we're going to return, and what we want to return here is a unauthorized exception. And we'll do an HTTP. Yeah, we want to return that. Let's see, I think it's like this. Okay, so if that's empty, yeah, we had to pass our response into here. So that will be, we'll do handler request. Okay, let's try that. Well, we got, that worked, but we don't want that to work. So let's just test this by going back to our headers here, our authorization, and let's not send this. Let's try that again. Crap. Why is that still working? What? If empty. Wow. Still, what the heck? Headers, show hidden, authorization. So we have an empty array here, and we're saying if that's empty, I'm supposed to throw this. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Response. Slim throw unauthorized error. Yeah, let's check our add error middleware. So we have that. Let's get rid of this route. Oh, wait, what? Expected parameter of server request interface. And we're providing a response. Yeah, I might have screwed this up. Maybe we have to just pass the request into this. See if that works. All right, perfect. So this is what I wanted. We are getting a 401 unauthorized return. And then if we add the bearer token in, that's fine. I'm still happy with this. So we don't have, okay, so now we'll throw that if there's no header. And then what we're gonna do after that guard statement is we're gonna say token is equal to, and we're gonna search for bearer space, and we're going to replace that with an empty string on header 0. Okay, so let's dump and die our token there. And now we have just that token. So now we can use this to search in the database to get our user. So let's go ahead and use app models users, and let's see if we can find a well, we're going to need the, let's get the access tokens and the user. All right, so we'll say access, and we're going to get access tokens find first, and for this we're going to give it a condition, and we'll just say token is equal to, and we'll bind that on, and we'll pass token in to that array. And then here we're going to say it, we'll do the same thing. We're going to say if not access, then we're going to throw new HTTP unauthorized exception with the request there. Otherwise, what we want to do is we want to find that user. So now we can say user is equal to users find first, or we can do find by ID, and we'll pass in the access user ID there, and then we'll do one more guard statement. We're going to say if not user or not user active, and we're also going to throw a new HTTP authorized exception unauthorized. Then what I want to do is we're going to add to the request. So I think what we can do is we'll say request set attribute or something like that. How do we do that in Slim? Let's go back here and let's look at the request. Upload. Attributes. Oh, it's with attribute. So we're going to say request is equal to request with attribute, and we'll put auth in there, and we're going to pass that user in. And then what's super cool about that is we'll have an authorized user. So let's build out our, we can build out our response now. So let's just return the handler handle request. So let's see if that works. If that works, then what I'd like to be able to do is in the auth controller, we should be able to, we should be able to get our user, our logged in user here by doing, let's say user is equal to request get attribute auth. So we can get that authorized user from our requests now, if that works out right. And so what I'd like to do there is we'll just dump and die user, and let's try it. Unknown column deleted in where clause. That is probably because, let's look at our models. Yeah, we don't have a soft delete on the access tokens, so we can actually delete all of this. for now. Let's try again. And boom, we have made it to returning our authorized logged in user, just like that. The time it took is 28 milliseconds, so that's pretty fast. So what it's doing is for any route that is inside of this authorized now, so now we can do routes that you have to be logged in for. It's going to, if they hit any routes in there that they're not logged in for, we're going to get an exception thrown. It says they're not logged in, they're getting unauthorized. If, however, they are logged in and we find them successfully, we're going to set that user in the request attribute called auth, and we have access to this now in all of our controller actions. So that's pretty cool. So then we can use a logged in user at any time we want, with that. So really happy with that. I don't know how my screen ended up like this. Let's fix that. But yeah, so now we have the ability to do authorized endpoints. So in my view, the login is working how we want it to work. So how much time do I got? I got enough time. Let's go ahead and do the log out method. So since we're here and we have a logged in user, let's just change this to log out, and we'll have this user here now, and we're just going to say user log out. We'll create a method for that, and they're just going to return a this API response. We'll pass the response in, and then just we're going to say success true for now. So that'd be a really easy deal here. And so what we can do is go to the users table, and we'll create a method here called logout. So the thing is, though, the other thing we probably want to do is, so that they can log in and out on multiple devices, we probably want to store their token as well. So let's go ahead and do another request equals request with attribute access token, and then let's pass that token in. So now the request will have that token as well. So what we can do is we can grab that token from the request. So we'll get attribute access token, and let's just pass that token into the logout method like that. And so then on the users, this will take the token, and all we'll need to do here then is we will find the access token and delete it. So we're going to say access tokens, find first. We'll pass in some conditions here. So we'll say token, or no, access equals. And for the conditions, do token is equal find token. And then what we'll do is we're going to say access, or if access, then we're going to do access delete. return access delete. All right, so let's try that now. So let's go here, and for our, let's change this group here. So instead of test, let's change that to auth. So we'll have some auth routes that are, we don't need a post to this, I don't think. Let's just do a get, and we'll do log out. Log out. So you have to be logged in order to log out. So let's go ahead and change this to log out. We'll send that to auth. Log out. And then we'll do get request there. Yeah, we need their authorization header. So let's go ahead and send that, see what happens. We get back success true. So now if we go to the database and refresh, we have this, let's just delete this token. All right, let's try it with logging in. We get this access token, so let's take this and copy it. And we'll go to log out now. We'll change our bearer token to that new one. Gets back true. And we don't have anything in the access tokens. So our login and logout functions are working correctly now, and we have authorized middleware as well as a random string generator. Awesome. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. I got a lot to do. I'm actually gonna do dishes tonight at a wedding, which is interesting. Haven't done dishes in a long time, but happy to do it. And I will see you guys on the other side. Peace out.